All right, ladies and gents, we're back for another episode of Legacy Dialogues. We got started yesterday. For those of you who actually tuned in, you probably saw us pop in for, a good 20 minutes or so yesterday, but then things just kind of went awry. But we don't care what happens when it comes to technical glitches. We just hop right back on the horse and keep on riding. So, we got started yesterday. We're just gonna flip and just go right back where we began. Come right back full out to you guys. 'Cause I know those of you on Facebook, you weren't able to tune in yesterday unless you transition over to YouTube. But let's just go ahead and jump right back in where we began yesterday, and just rock and roll. So before we get rolling, let me go ahead and introduce our guest. Bring to you Mr. Tracy Campbell. How's it going, my guy?
It's going good, brother. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. You were just sharing with me before we went live that you just now come from the gym, and
Yes.
just something I kind of want to put out there as we get ready to start this episode. With this being legacy dialogue, you think about the title, legacy dialogues. You're having dialogues about creating and leaving a legacy, and
Mhm.
so much of what we do reflects so much of who we are and how we present ourselves reflects in other areas of our life. So just thinking
Correct.
about your discipline, and just coming from the gym this time of the morning where most people are still dragging themselves out of bed and not really wanting to get to the office because it's
Yeah.
Friday and they just want the day to be over with. You set the tone the right way. So
Yeah.
we're just gonna kind of start from the jump. But before we do so, I just want to reiterate what Legacy Dialogue is all about. I started this podcast formatted live stream on December the 31st or December the 30th, if I'm not mistaken. So right before we kicked in the new year, I had my first guest. We did our first episode, and I loved the energy. I loved the flow. I've done a couple of podcasts in the past, but this one is more so in alignment with everything that I already have going on. So understanding that people are out there that have done great things, that are currently doing great things, and you can learn from those individuals to figure out how can I tap into who I am to figure out what it is that I'm supposed to be doing while I'm here on this planet. So that's why I
Correct.
bring the guests before you guys, and that's why Tracy is here. Tracy has come from a place, he's gone through some things, and he's made it to a place. So many people get stuck along that journey and they never make it to the place. So, with that being said, man, just kind of give us a synopsis. Who is Tracy Campbell? Where you come from? What the beginnings were, and kind of where you're navigating to now.
Okay. So I'll give you, I won't hold you too long on that, but born and raised in Titusville, Florida, which is a small place out of Central Florida. For many people who don't know where that is, that would be where the Kennedy Space Center is, where NASA is located, where you see the shuttle, the rocket launches. That's what we're known for, right? We're Elon's backyard. So I come from a small place there. Always played sports all my life. Always felt like I had a greater calling. It was just like a weird feeling that I just sensed that, I was meant to do so many great things. Played sports all my life, like I said, raised by a single mom. Throughout, I played basketball, football, baseball, track, soccer, you name it. When we got into the high school ranks, I then became the starting quarterback for the three-peat state championship team at Cocoa High School, who has now gone on to win a total of 7 titles. So I did that. After doing that, I found myself wanting to accept a college scholarship, but then getting cold feet. I didn't do that. I decided to go over to Tampa with some friends and wanted to party. Well, that didn't last too long, so then I ended up back home. While I was back home, I ended up having my first son at the age of 19. From there, life started to get real, and I was scared. So I had to make a decision, right? I had to decide what am I going to do, whether it's just join a workforce or go to the military, figure something out, but you can't sit at home and do nothing with a kid. I decided to join the Air Force, did that, ended up having some medical issues and things like that that caused me to, come back home and get discharged honorably. While I was home, I started to figure out things again, followed my law enforcement path, and started with the juvenile detention center. Okay, from there, I worked my way up to the roadside, and then About 6 years or so into law enforcement on Father's Day, I got a call from my mom, who I thought it was a call from my mom, but it was my uncle telling me that they had to rush her to the hospital because she had just had 45 mini strokes. Come to find out, she ended up having bacterial meningitis. So then I had to put down the badge and start to take care of her. At that point, I was faced with another tough decision of, do you go back to work now or do you take care of mom? So the police department gave me the ultimatum of either you come back now or we fire you. Well, my mom's never been married and I'm the only child. So I thought it was right that I put the 2 week notice in and I start to take care of her. Fast forward after that, nursing her back to health, I got into entrepreneurship and started becoming a fitness trainer. Loved that. And then that took me into a space of being a general manager at Crunch Fitness for about 2 years. But then just still that hunger of wanting more and realizing that I have more to offer this world than just, sitting behind the desk and signing up people for gym memberships. I found a love for real estate. And then that entrepreneurship bug of real estate just took me on to a whole nother and greater path of MiCard athletics. And here we are.
I love it, man. I love it.
Yeah.
So, just to kind of track back, and we prefaced this yesterday whenever we had our first attempt. A lot of the things that we go through as youth, they either make or
Mhm.
break us. Now,
Correct.
they can make or break you temporarily or long term. You can look at some of the successes that you had as a youth, and you can carry that success over into adulthood. Or you can look at on the flip side some of the disappointments, some of the the hardships that you went through, and you can carry that forward. So looking at the success, at least at the high school level that you had, transitioning into your career, transitioning into the entrepreneurship space, what would you say some of those top qualities were that you learned? Because I mean, I know I can speak for myself. I was a four sport athlete: football, baseball, basketball, and I ran track. Now, I
Yeah.
never got around to soccer, and a lot of people saying, "Brian, you should have played soccer." So I went to Costa Rica, and I was killing it against some of the
Yeah.
professors over there. But I was a four sport athlete as well, and I took ROTC or JROTC in high school. So
Yeah.
there's that little like 1 year worth of military type of training, and I attest my background in sports and JROTC and so much of the success I've been able to have in life. So, what would you say about your background, be it coming out of high school and then transitioning into military law enforcement? How would you say that background has followed you to where you are today?
I would say it really has. When I look back at my time of being an athlete and then going on to win a state championship, playing against some of the best teams in the country, and then even us finishing at number 18 in the country, which was astronomical. That was great, right? But what sports taught me was how to be resilient, right? And how to battle through adversity. In life, there's going to be things that'll kick you down. There'll be things that, that'll look unfair to you, but how do you look at that? My grandfather would always say, look at the glass half full instead of half empty. And that's how I would approach things. Yes, this is a problem where it's an obstacle that's in front of me. What's the solution? How do I find the solution? How do I get to the solution? you know, and being a quarterback, being hit time and time again, throwing interceptions, making the wrong reads. Those are things that are mistakes, right? But you can't dwell on that because you can't press forward. You can't lead your team to victory. So I had to understand, every bump in the road throughout life, it's just a hurdle. That's it. I can get over that. I may not have, passed it this time, but let's go back. Let's look at it again. Let's learn from that and let's be better. And I think ultimately that's what sports has just taught me. It's to be resilient. There's never a time where I'm in a spot where I can't figure it out. It might take me a little bit longer, but I can always find the solution to the problem. So just, Dwayne Wade just had the commercial, right? Remember?
Well, looks like we have had a connectivity glitch.
Thanks. Are we good?
No, you good. You're good.
Okay,
Yeah, we're good now.
perfect. So you got to be able to battle through adversity. And that's just what, upbringing throughout sports and just throughout life from playing, work two jobs, get out there and do what you need to do. You know, at the end of the day, nobody cares about the labor pains. They just want to see the baby.
Man, that's real. Now, the message that you're relaying right now, get over the hurdle no matter what, always finding a way and not complaining. Like that's I look at today and I look at this morning. I have a session that I do every morning on the Clubhouse platform where I pour into a group of individuals. And this morning, we kind of got hung up, or the individuals, a handful of them, got hung up on complaining. Now, I
Yeah.
have assignments that they do every single evening. They have to, 24 hours of zero complaining, period. And so many people reach back out to me. This is going to be a tough one, Brian. Like, I don't know if I can do it. Like, it's just so much this, that, and the third. But, like, you have to get to a point in life to where whatever you're complaining about, it's just a hurdle you have to find a way around. Just a second.
Yeah. You're real staticky.
All right, how we coming? Are we still static?
It's still staticky. Yeah.
Let's give this another
Boom,
go.
we in there.
All right, good deal. So,
I hear you.
yeah,
You're so
as I was saying, all right, we good now?
yes, and I think that's a crazy point because just like what you were just talking about, not
Yeah.
complaining, right? I feel like a lot of times God will allow certain things to happen just to test you and see how you respond. We just talked about complaining. There again, we
Hmm.
had another issue with the connection, static, and we could have easily got mad, could have easily said, you know what, man, let's just cancel, let's try again, right? But no, find the solution,
That's
keep
it.
persevering, do what you need to do. And that's all it's about, man. That's really it. I remember being at this stage of my life when I was trying to change my thought process, right? And just understanding when you wake up, the first thing you should be telling your mind is, oh, today's gonna be a great day. There's a song by, I think it's by Bill Withers, Lovely Day. I will literally wake up in the morning and cut that on
I love it.
because what it's doing is it's reframing this, it's training this, and now my mind and my subconscious mind is starting to work, it's starting to believe that. So it's like little tiny soldiers in your brain, and they're like "Boss, dang," after that becomes negative. But this thing, you know what, man, today I woke up, let's do what we need to do, and that's it. You just have to set the intention to be positive, things like, you know,
Yeah. And that's it, man. The guest not the guest, but the viewer that just dropped that comment, she was actually in that session this morning. And so much of what you're saying right now is a reiteration of what I was sharing. For one, what good is complaining going to do but give you that quick jolt of, okay, I feel good about speaking negatively towards what I don't like, but it's not going to get
Mhm.
you anywhere. I, I look back to 2012 is when I first discovered personal development and a lot of this, self help things that a lot of entrepreneurs consume. And that marked the end of me pointing fingers and complaining and making excuses and not taking accountability. So I look at the fact that you throw an interception, you miss a read, you do something that's off, and that you could drop your head and just allow that to funnel throughout the rest of the game. I look at the resilience you develop through that, and then we fast forward all the way to entrepreneurship, all the way to real
Yeah.
estate, all the way to the role that you serve in now. Challenges are going to happen. They're going to come.
Mhm.
So, kind of take us through the initiation of that real estate journey, because I'm serving as a managing partner on a mixed use commercial development project. And some of these
Okay.
investors, man, like they just don't understand the flow. So I'm having to be the mind of reason. Like it don't happen that simple. It's not that easy. So like, what has your journey been in applying that mindset as it pertains to your real estate journey?
Oh, it's been hard, man. I'll tell you no lie. I left my job at Crunch, and I was blessed to get disability from the military at the time, and like 10 months of back pay or whatnot, and able to just live off of that for quite some time. But throughout that process, man, it took me. A lot of people will be like, "What? Way too much they do." 18 months, every day having to get up, time and time feet, not closing on a property, not doing this, not doing that. And I think the biggest thing is what I've learned is that you have to stick with it, right? But you also have to trust the process, and you have to have a plan. When I first started, I didn't have a plan. I was going from this situation to this situation to this, and I was consuming so much content, but I wasn't doing anything with it. So it was like content overload, right? And what I would do is I would find myself in a place where I was trying to think about the money. So it became very transactional. My relationship with this career, more so needs. I saw your house as a way for me to make fast cash. Okay. And I didn't care about the needs of you. I didn't understand that maybe you could be going through a foreclosure. Maybe it could be a probate. Maybe there's certain issues that you may have that you may be needing, right? I skipped over the person. I went straight to the home because that's where I thought was bringing me the money. And that's all I wanted to care about. Once I remember Ralph was when I first like met him, and he was teaching me this, and he was saying, stop worrying about the money, stop chasing the money. You have to service the person. Once I started to service the individual, that's when everything clicked for me. And I think now in real estate, everything can help the individual I'm speaking with or that I'm trying to make a deal with. And once I did that, everything clicked for me because those 18 months were very hard, very stressful, very depressing. It just seemed like I would never win. And I remember I'd just be like, why am I doing this? I need to go back to a 9 to 5. So it was a whirlwind of things because I remember getting a property, man, and I thought it was I mishandled the deal. Okay.
Mm.
And I didn't do the steps properly. Well, what I did was I allowed it to expire. But right before it expired, I told the deal to a real estate agent. They knew the expiration date. A couple days
Mhm.
later, at the expiration date, they brought their buyer straight to my seller and they closed the deal
Just like that.
just like that. But again, it was a learning process because I mishandled the deal. My steps were off. And again, I was being transactional. I wasn't thinking about the person.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I mean, honestly, you can take it all the way back to football. If you out here, all you're focusing on is scoreboard watching. You're not focusing on the play that's in front of you. You're not focusing
Yeah.
on, how much you need to lead your receiver. Like you're not focusing on the needs of the immediacy. You're not going to get the result. Like
No.
too many of us, you go from football to entrepreneurship. We're focusing on a check. Like I started my own business because I wanted to make money.
Hmm.
Now money only comes by serving people. You can't
Yeah.
make money, only the what is it, the Federal Reserve, they make money. Like you have to serve people, and when you serve enough people, the money will come.
Yeah.
I actually it was a few days ago, one of the assignments in my community was give more, get more. Like
Yeah.
when you go into a service leadership capacity, and I'm going to, I mean, and it's biblically rooted, you
Yeah.
reap what you sow. But so many
Mhm.
people, they think, okay, yeah, I'm gonna sow so that I can reap. No, you
Yeah.
don't do it with the result in mind. You do it for the sake of doing it, knowing that the result will come when it's meant to come.
Yeah.
In entrepreneurship, I tell you, man, 2014, I started doing public speaking. It was part of my role when I was living in Miami. Had to go out to all these mega churches. Miami-Dade, Broward, and West Palm Beach counties. And I'm speaking on the importance or the need of a foster parent because I was working in the industry and I saw that need. It was inside me. And I spoke
Yeah.
on it with my heart and my passion. Fast forward 2015, I'm back at Southern Miss here in Mississippi, and I'm speaking all over the state. Like schools are pulling me left, right, and center to speak in front of their audience. And I was coming out of class one day, and one of my classmates was like, "Hey, Brian, so like, what do you do when you go and you deliver your speeches? I'm like, how much do you charge?" I'm like, "You worrying about the wrong thing. Like,
Yeah.
you need to have something in your mind, something in your heart that you want to give first. You
Yeah.
need to see a problem out there and you have a solution inside you that you want to give.
Hmm.
I work with my entrepreneurs the same way. Don't come to me saying you want to be an entrepreneur and you lead with, I want to be able to make X amount of money. I want to be able to buy this type of car, live in this type of house. No, what problem are you looking to solve? And when you ask and talk to your clients, talk to the people who you're looking to sell a house for, buy a house for, um, you learn their needs first. And when you take
Hmm.
care of them, and I'm sure you can attest to this, when you take care of your clients well enough, they're going to become your word of mouth advertising. They're going to bring
And
more business to you.
that's exactly just hit it on there. That's what's happened for me. Once I start taking care of the needs, now I really don't have to look for leads. Of course, you want to look for leads, right? But I get a lot of stuff that will literally be word of mouth or somebody that walked into the office just because I've taken care of somebody so well that they knew. And that's what it's about. It's about servicing others. And once I understood that principle, that's when everything changed for me.
Yep. That's it, man. And if you think about it, it applies like that across life. If you're talking
Absolutely.
about business, you're talking about romantic relationships, you're talking
Hmm.
about, relationships in a professional capacity. When you look to serve and take care of the needs of those who depend on you and or that look up to and respect you, you focus on them first. What's meant for you will come back to you.
That's it.
It'll come back to you. So to just kind of go ahead and move a little bit faster in or ahead and kind of bring that logo behind you into the picture.
Yeah.
MiCard Athletics. So
Uh-huh.
I want you to kind of give us your story as it pertains to you getting involved with MiCard in the athletics capacity, so on
Mhm.
and so forth. Because I feel like we may have some overlap in our approach when it comes to both of our affiliation with MiCard. But yeah, kind of share with the people how you got affiliated with MiCard and exactly what you do with the company.
Yeah. So what happened was when I first met my mentor, Ralph Perone, who's the CEO and founder of MyCard, I wanted him to mentor me on real estate. That was just my main focus, right? I just want to make money. I knew that he was very, very savvy in real estate, one of the best in our county and also in the country. So I just wanted to learn from him about that. But lo and behold, that wasn't what he wanted to teach me. He wanted to more so teach me about life. Then once he taught me about life, that would benefit my real estate and all this other stuff. So during our first conversation, he said that he thought I'd be really well for my card. And I said, okay, well, what is it? And he showed it to me. And right then and there, I knew it was going to be something special. I said, I want to be a part of this. So as it continued to grow, he continued to keep me at bay with it. It was like, hey, listen, it's time to launch. This is what we're going to do. So I jumped on board and signed up and things like that. My first intention with my card was to use it for those that are in real estate and
All right, looks like we may have a little glitch out. Can you hear me, man? All right, like we may have lost Tracy for a sec. Uh, he should be rejoining us any moment now. Now, this segment for those of you who specifically I've connected with in the athletic space when it comes to my card, this is the gentleman that you want to listen to. This is the individual that you want to, um, to really connect with, really, because he's out here making things happen. I was looking at the Instagram page for my card, and there's a main Instagram account, and then there's my card athletics. My card athletics is blowing it out the water. I'm talking about he's got images, he's got video, he's got content of athletes all over the place, just high quality content, and showing them how utilizing a my card can really help them with their personal brand, can help them with their recruiting, can help them with really putting out there who they are as an athlete in a very concisely packaged way, and really stand out from the crowd. So, as we wait for Tracy to come back in, I dropped his info here on the scrolling across the bottom. So, for those of you who are in the athletic space, definitely, take the chance to go and check out his my card. As we going through going through the rest of the episode. But yeah, man.
can you, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
All right. Sorry about that. So
Uh,
how I got into the my card was my mentor at the time, Ralph Perone Jr., wanted him to mentor me just about real estate and everything like that. That transitioned to more so about life. And he saw that I'd be good fit for my card, the company that he was launching. I loved everything about it when I first saw it. So as time got closer to the launch, I jumped on board. My first intention was to present it and work with real estate professionals, insurance people, those types of people that that deal with people just on a normal basis, right? But that quickly got very boring. I would call offices, I would call chambers of commerce. I'd be on the phone, I'd have a whole sheet, and it would go nowhere. And I was like, man, this is crazy. I'm not doing this no more. So Coco High was getting ready to play for their seventh state title this past football season. And I went out to the practice the day before the game and I spoke to the team. And after speaking to the team, I called Ralph and I said, hey, listen, I want to do something for my school. I know they're going to win again. I don't want to donate to more rings because let's say they win eight state title this year or number nine or whatever the case may be. I want to give them a gift that keeps on giving. I want to change their life. I really want to do something special. And he says, well, how about we do my cards for the whole team? And I'm like, yeah, but that's a business card, Ralph. He's like, okay, but how do they connect with college coaches, scouts, and things like that? And I said, well, they use Twitter or X or whatever they want to call it these days. And he says, that's the problem. Why would a scout want to go searching all over the place for information about a kid? Our platform places all their information in one. They can have everything they need to know about them. And because of NIL is here, how about it makes them look more professional? And I said, wow, you're onto something. So I designed the first card for my little cousin that plays at Coco High. And it literally turned into like the Me Too movement. Everyone wanted a card. Every athlete that I would like, I'd post it and our DM would get flooded. So from there, it grew. I then took a turn and just started focusing on athletics. It was then I brought on Pylon, who's one of the biggest 707 organizations in the world. Their CEO and founder called me out of the blue and was like, Tracy, I love this product. I need my hands on it now. And can you get to every tournament that I have? And I'm like, you guys do about 50 tournaments a year. I can't, there's no way I can get there and do every tournament. So I would go to a few and I would sign up kids and athletes as I'd be at these tournaments. And then it was the Atlanta tournament that really clicked for me. And I caught on and I was like, yeah, we're here. We're here. It was when I met Champ Bailey. Mind you, I'm having a conversation with him because he's interested. What's this my card? So I'm telling him about it. And I am recognizing that I know this individual from somewhere, but I can't think about where I know them from because I'm in my
Yeah.
flow state. I don't want to mess up. So afterwards, I'm like trying to fill him out and I ask a stupid question. And I'm like, are you a coach by chance? And he said, "Oh, here and there." And I'm like, gosh, man, ain't even gonna help me. So I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna say it. You look very familiar. I know you from somewhere. And he says, I'm Champ Bailey. And I literally almost lost my mind. I was like, you are one of my favorite football players of all time. I would have posters of you on my wall. And he's like, wow, man. So the next day I saw him at the camp again because he wanted to talk to me. And I didn't wait. And this is another key thing right here that people should do. I did not wait for his permission. That same night, I went back and I designed him a MiCard. I researched everything there was to know about him online. Every video, every business he was a part of, you name it, I knew it. You there, Brian?
Good, man. I had a call come through. So
Is that what that was?
through my video, but keep I'm just
I can hear you now.
yep. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. Continue on, man. Continue on. I had a little glitch here, but you good.
I got you. So it was like I was saying in Atlanta. So the next day he wanted to talk to me, but I did not wait to ask for permission. I acted upon what I thought would work, and that was design him a my card that night. So I looked up every business that he's been a part of. I looked up every video. I did my research. I stayed up to like 2 a.m. in the morning, and I did this card, made it just top tier. And the next time, and it was raining. He was about to go, and I ran across. And I said, Champ, what's going on, man? He's like, hey, how's it going? Did you look at the stuff that I look at? I said, yes. He's like, what'd you think? I said, it's great. He says, I actually think that we could work together, my card and the stuff that I do. I said, let's do it. I said, but I want to show you something. I want to present something to you. He's like, what do you got? And I showed him his my card. And he literally looked back and was like, he was like, you did this? I said, yes, sir. He said, but how? You have thing about me, every business, you name it. I said, yes, sir. I did my research. I stayed up late and I customized this card for you. He's like, that right there, man, just told me everything that I need to know about you. I want to work with you. And he's like, I want in, I want to do it. And then later on that evening, I was at dinner and he literally sends me a text message and says, can you send me my card? I said, yeah, sure. Months later, Brian, he says, "Hey, can you give me a call?" I called him. We sat on the phone for like an hour and 10 minutes. Here it is. I'm sitting on the phone with one of my idols that I was in the backyard mimicking. And I'm like, wow, that MiCard and what we're doing for the athletic space was going to change.
That's real, man. Now, what you just said is key, and it was my approach to my card. Um, I didn't wait for people to give me permission. I went.
No,
I want you to have one. I'm going to design it. I'm going to give it to you. Once you realize, wow, he put in the work. Like I gotta maximize this, and it's
yeah,
like that. Not just with my car, but for those entrepreneurs out there who are listening, don't ask for permission to be great. Don't
no,
ask for permission to do great things. Do the great thing. And if you have to apologize later, so then be it. But do the great thing because you never know when you taking that initiative, it's going to open up doors that can flood into the masses. Now,
yeah.
I shot you a text last night, and I didn't give you all the details, but I have an opportunity to potentially work with the DJ for Keisha Cole and for Chris Brown. They're one of their DJs, and get
Okay,
them set up with my card. One of my mentees, he was at an event. He's a DJ. He was at an event in Houston, Texas, and we like to take the same approach with them. We like to hook them up with a top tier card, and when I
mm,
go down to their event, they're going to have an event down in New Orleans, and I'm going to go down and set up for it. Like we're about to blow it up, man.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's it. And what I really want people to to kind of take from this conversation and just this dialogue is look at where you came from and either make an excuse or use it as a reason to push forward. You can look at the bad that you went through and you can allow it to continue to permeate and follow you into the future, or you can look at
Yeah.
it and say, you know what, I'm going to use this to develop resilience to make sure that in the future, not only am I greater, but I can be that lead to make sure that those who are coming behind me don't fall over those same hurdles.
Yeah.
So, you know, definitely, go ahead, man. You got something else you wanted to pour in?
No, it was just kind of like what you were just saying, man. You can either make the excuses, because all of us come from different places, right? You know, but at the end of the day, man, I've heard this. Olive goes through three stages: the pressing, the beating, and the purifying, right? So you have to go through certain stages of your life in order for your oil to flow. That's just it. You know, that's just what happens. And if you stop at some point in your life and you don't get your all, think about those that are behind you that don't get to benefit from what you've been able to accomplish and able to do. You're getting ready to bless generations. I'm going to bless generations. But if we stop right now, nobody gets what they could. So I think that's very key. It's easy to get, stuck along the road and to give up and things like that because I'm nowhere near where I want to be at all.
Oh
The
yeah.
journey is always, always, you know, continuing. But I have to remember, why am I doing this? You know, I'm doing this for generations behind me. I'm planting the seeds so those generations will enjoy the shade that I never got to enjoy.
Hmm.
That's just it. So, entrepreneurs, just keep your head down, avoid the distractions because they're going to come. And a lot of times that's what it is. You're near that place where you want to be. And the enemy does what? He distracts you. He takes your focus away from you just so you don't get to the end of your road.
Hold up. I think my video's acting crazy. All right, I think we're good. So yeah, man. Ultimately, we just have to get to that point where every obstacle that we see, we don't look at it as an obstacle. We look at it as an opportunity to become
Yeah,
greater, to become more resilient. We look at it as an opportunity to show the world what we're made of, and not let the world show us that we can't. So
exactly. Yes.
off off that note, man, as we get ready to close, like what are some things that you want to leave with the people, as it pertains to entrepreneurship in general, as it pertains to my card, utilizing the my card, because I'm going to make sure I put this in front of a lot of the young athletes that I've been able to connect with. But what is the
Okay.
message that you would like to leave, specifically with some of those young athletes?
For the young athletes, I think you have to understand that you're in a space where you can really take control of your life. You can really take control of your image and you can change your family's life and generations behind you. And what that boils down to, not only what you do on the court, what you do on the field, but how you present yourself off the court and off the field. Are you brandable? Are you marketable? Do you have good character? And with my card, what we do is we give you a tool that allows you to take your image and just go further with it. We allow you to make money off your name, image, and likeness. We also are a platform that can connect you with several different NIL companies. My card athletics, my job was to be a hub of resources for every athlete. So that way you didn't have to go to X, Y, and Z. You could come to us and we can direct you with some trusted sources that we have. So I think it's, understanding who you are as an athlete. You don't have to be D1, you don't have to be D2, you don't have to be D3. But as long as you have something to offer and you have good character, you can go a very long way in this world. Things have changed. So take full control of your life.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And I just kind of want to tie a ribbon around the one thing that you mentioned. This is for entrepreneurs. This is for people in general. Like you not taking full initiative to go after what God gave you to go after.
Yeah.
There's people who are going to come along and generations to come that don't get the opportunity that they would have gotten had you done what you were supposed to do. I
Yeah.
remember one of the first times I read Think and Grow Rich, or maybe it was Law of Success by Dr. Napoleon Hill.
Hmm.
And I think it was like the preface or maybe just chapter one where he said that he's sharing words and principles that are going to change the lives of people who have yet to even be born. Like he's doing today, laying the groundwork today that's going to change the lives of people who don't even exist yet. And that's how we have to really look at it. You mentioned the generational impact you're looking to make, and I started visualizing your kids, and I started visualizing your kids' kids, and your kids' kids' kids. Like that's the focus that we should be putting in place. And I remember one day, DJ Envy, he was being interviewed, and so many people were saying how, well, you're not making X Y Z amount of money off of your real estate, like it ain't really worth it. And he said, I ain't doing it for me. I'm doing it for my kids. Like
Yeah.
by the time they're adults, like they'll choose if they want to work a day of their life because I'm going to have them so set up. So the
Yeah.
goal should be to position our next generations to decide if they want to work or not, not,
Mhm.
position them to have to try and survive. So many that came before us had to just survive. We have the opportunities today. We have the my cars. We have so many different opportunities, real estate, so many different opportunities, but you have to make the decision to go after it, to persist through it, and make it to the end. So off that note, man, I want to say I appreciate you for doing what you do, not only through my card, not only just the leader that you have been in your community when it comes to sports, but just from one man to another of not giving up, of being an example instead of allowing the world to make an example of you. Like I appreciate you for that. I watch you, I check you out on social media, I see how you move, and like you said, you're nowhere near where you want to be or where you're gonna be, but just seeing the continual pursuit, like I absolutely love it, man. I just wanted to, say I appreciate you for taking that lead.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you, brother. Me and you have great dialogue all the time. Iron sharpens iron. So I love
That's
to see
it.
what you're doing. I love being around it because it pushes me. And at the
That's
end of
it.
the day, we are here to be a community,
Yep.
and it's not about who can be better. It's not about any of that. It's how can we come together and help each other because we all have
Hmm.
different missions, but they still correlate the same. So it's been a pleasure, meeting you and continue to be a part of your brotherhood and you of mine. And let's continue to do what we do. Let's
Oh yeah.
continue to impact peoples and lead them to the promised land.
That's it, man. This is just the beginning. Just the beginning. So
Yeah, man.
for For those of you who are looking to connect with Tracy, I dropped this info right here scrolling on the bottom. But once I go in and I update the content on Facebook and on YouTube for this video, I'll make sure all his contact information is there as well. So yeah, that's a wrap. So I'm gonna put you backstage again, Trace. I'm gonna close out with the
Okay.
audience, and then I'll come back to you and we'll close out.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, man. Right back at you. All right, guys. So that's another one. It's another one in the books. It's been about 2 months and some change since I did one of these sessions, one of these lives, and I missed them, man. Like I missed the energy, I missed the mindset of the people that I bring on. It's something I definitely am looking to pick back up more consistently. But I like so many of the messages that were just shared by Tracy. The background that he had, some of the things that he shared yesterday, on top of what he shared today, are just so impactful for people who may have gone through similar struggles. So, regardless of what you see yourself going through right now, I want you to take two things into consideration: what impact you want to make on the world, and why. What is the impact that you want to make? Who do you see out there suffering? What problem do you see? What impact do you want to make? And why? And when you figure out the what and the why, and you surround yourself with the right people, the how will take care of itself. Tracy had no idea MiCard was going to come along. He had no idea, but he wanted to impact a certain community, and he knew why he wanted to. And the how was figuring itself out. So that's a wrap for today, guys. If you are an entrepreneur, if you're just doing something that you know is going to leave a legacy behind, and you want to come on and have an episode with me, hit me up. Let me know, and we'll try and line something up. With that being said, it's going to be a wrap for today. We'll be back probably the week after next. I have 3 guests that I know are looking to come on. I just got to tie up a few loose ends. But with that being said, that's a wrap. We'll see you guys on the next.